must say that she's filling in on short notice, but it's a champion in her own right. Somebody that is always willing to connect with you this morning. Our conversation will be centered around community policing. Big thing in Grenada. Everybody talking community policing. This morning, we want to let you know what it is. And we also want to let you know why we do community policing and how we do community policing. Once again, good morning. And at this time, I'm going to let my guest introduce herself.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Rory, and so I am going to be responsible for Spotify. I've been attached to the Royal Criminal Police Force as a trained police officer for the last 6 years, going on 7 this year. However, I've been with the system a little while longer, from since 2011 as a communication dispatcher.
All right, so this morning, community policing, and we have a communication specialist. I think we're going to have a very good conversation. Miss Antoine, everybody is talking community policing. Talk on the street, talk on the radio, talk on the Facebook. And this morning, I don't just want the technical explanation or definition, but I want you to let the listening public know what is community policing.
So, in my own words, community policing is uh, a program more or less. It's aimed at getting the community and the police working hand in hand in a more collaborative initiative, if you understand what I'm saying. So we have that relationship where we can speak to the community can give us feedbacks, and so on a daily basis, more or less, as to what they may like, what they may want to see happen in in and around the community, and we have that talk.
Yes, and I like that you stress that word relationship. And I want to even add here, initially, when the concept of community policing was being spoken of, or when it was being introduced to the RGPF, there was this apprehension by officers as well that somehow community policing was going to make the police soft, that you're going to move away from apprehending suspect, and they thought that it would become this big talk shop and everything. But we see that community policing, it's not that.
Yeah.
We work with the community, but we
Yes.
work with a purpose in mind. And what are some of the things that we try to achieve together?
So, in community policing, we aim at reducing crimes. So, as I said, we speak to you, you speak to us, and in that way, we can aim at reducing the crime rate at any given community wherever you have police working. We reduce also the fear of crime. That's one of our aim. So, some persons, for whatever reason, they may have that fear that somebody might do them something, or something might happen to their home or the other. But because of that relationship that we may have with the community and the persons within, then that fear may reduce. And
I,
also,
before you're gone, I had that thought. Could you imagine you in your home? You left for work, and when you return, someone broke into your house. Your peace, your security is disturbed.
yes,
And it changes the way you
the whole
operate.
mindset.
And that was what really bring it home for me, the whole concept of fear of crime. And I realized that the fear of the crime is just as powerful as the crime itself.
Yes.
And I'm glad that you mentioned that when we meet, we collaborate, we talk about things like that. We reassure the public.
Yes.
And from the conversation, we generate our programs as to how
programs,
we can keep the
definitely
public safe.
safe.
You can continue.
And besides being safe, we also help with other community initiatives. So, for example, we have persons that may have some problem or the other with maybe sending a child to school, while we as the police may not necessarily be able to give that person money or food all the time. We can find persons around or programs that the ministry also may have that can assist in such situations.
So I'm sensing that it's a sort of broadening of the role.
Yes.
While we may not be responsible for that, but we
We
assist.
assist. We can find persons that are responsible and share the information with them that persons in the community might have shared with us. And so we can all chip in and lend a helping hand.
Miss Antoine, you know that the Royal Grenada Police Force is the envy of many police forces across the Caribbean because they wonder how you guys are doing it. They wonder how we achieve success, how we solve our crimes so quickly. They look at the fact that we do not possess superior equipment, but we get that results. And hearing you explain that it is a strategic focus of the RGPF to concentrate on developing relationship with the communities that we serve, and not only to focus on crime, but we also help in other little areas.
Yes.
So I think I let the cat out of the bag. So if you're in St. Vincent right now and you're listening, take something.
Yes.
Take something. You can continue.
Yes. And with that, and also what we do in situations again, like for example, if you have mental persons, yes, we may not be trained mental professionals, but we assist persons, family members in taking that said mental patient to seek medical assistance and so on. So we're not just focused on fighting crime, but we focus on the whole community, and we're not just the community that we may live in, but we focus on all communities in and around Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit-Martinique.
Yeah, and I believe when you show people that you care, you're going to develop relationship. And when you're in a relationship, you will talk.
So
So we
definitely.
does hear thing. Because something that we must be cognizant of is that if there is crime in a community, not everybody is comfortable with that crime. And so we encourage members of the public, speak up.
Speak up.
Something is wrong. Say it is wrong. Get in contact with your police officer. So I glad that you we I think we sufficiently address what community policing is, and in a sense, and in we give the reason why community policing as compared to traditional policing. Well, traditional police, we must more reacting to situations happening, but now we're in the community, we are very proactive.
Very proactive.
Yeah, and I think it augurs well for the development of the force.
Yes.
What's in it for the community? We hear the police side of it, but what benefits that could come to the community when they partner with the police?
Well, for one, as it's a safer community, and a more stable peace of mind, yes. And then with that, you get the persons to kind of harness, because I know shortly some we would be speaking on maybe some of the community policing initiatives that we have. And in that, we can get persons to harness their true capabilities. So that is one of the things that the community in and of itself can get from that.
You know that there are some communities and the anti-police sentiment there, it may be a little bit more prevalent than other communities. And what we notice that the communities that buy in to the philosophy of community policing, they're more stable,
Stable,
they are
definitely.
more quiet, less crime. persons tend to be more law abiding. And the anti-police, the ones that they cuss you off and people make all those type of comments, you see that crime is prevalent in those
Yes.
communities.
Yes, and another thing that I know that generally with people, if you tend to be part of a solution, you tend to work with the situation more than if somebody just come and push that on you.
Yeah, because you
So
feel empowered.
definitely. So with the community policing aspect, you give the community a sense of reassurance, and if you get where I'm coming from, that they bring solutions to the table, so they tend to stick to that than if you were just slap down something on them.
Yes, and imagine when you get to participate in how law enforcement will affect you. For example, the police going to share information, and you may get to know that there is an activity taking place, and there are going to be delays. So the police share that with you. You
Yes.
heard before the event. So when it comes now, it does not take you by
Surprise.
surprise.
Yeah.
Then you know that yes, the police going to be checking for the children that are not attending school, and they're going to be coming to the community. You get that information. So when the police arrive in the community, you share that information, because if you care about your community, then you want the children to go to school.
Yes. Yes.
And if there is somebody in the village that is selling drugs or playing loud music, disturbing community members, you can't sleep.
Yeah.
It upsets you.
Yes.
So when you partner with the police, and we have that conversation, then we can come up with solutions. So that shop that plays that loud music, we could go and have a conversation with them, and we could say,
Yes.
listen, we understand that there would be a certain section of the community that enjoys the music, but it affects others. And we let you know that if you continue, we may serve you with that nice abatement notice.
Yes.
And there is, for further continuance of the offense, your equipment could be confiscated. But when we have that conversation, we create that dialogue. So we might say to the community on the weekends for a few hours, because we understand that people need to socialize as well.
Yeah.
So when we talk, we share stuff and we come up with solution together. Yeah. So I think there's a lot in it
Yes.
for the community.
And one thing again, what I realized that it also gave the community to do something about their situation. So with the solution in mind, then when it comes to enforce whatever the solution they come up with, give them that opportunity. So instead of being stressed about the situation, then you'll be able to feel comfortable knowing that you have that solution that you yourself came up with and you're willing to work.
And I glad where we're touching community, because while that might be a side note, but I want to throw it in. You know that there are persons in the community when police is conducting their business, and you pick out your phone and you're streaming and you're live, and how can a negative chatter? But if we go to the core responsibilities of police, public safety,
Yes.
public order, arresting offenders. So when you take out your phone and you expose the police operation, and there is somebody in the community selling drugs to your children, when police don't get the chance to get that illegal firearm, or you take out your phone, you text everybody, and the unlicensed driver is allowed to hide and to come back on the road the next day.
And God forbid that you end up in an accident with somebody, child.
And sometimes, they don't see the consequences. So, on that note, we're encouraging members of the public, don't fight the police. The police is there to do a job,
Yeah.
to keep you safe. Because I'm sure if there is some evil occurrence or some negative occurrence or some criminal occurrence in the community, they're not going to go by the bad man.
No.
You're going to call the police.
Yes.
So we don't want to see that hindrance, because recently the police had some things, and I was watching it on Facebook, and I watch all the negative comments. And we like to educate the public. And I thought that was a proper platform for we to address that. How we go about conducting our community policing. Because we know that different communities may have different issues. What might affect, for example, a community as Douglaston, it may not be the same thing for a community as Montreach.
Yeah.
So how do we go about now creating those programs for those community?
So first and foremost, you get to know your community. So you would do community patrols. Maybe when the person coming to make the report, then you listen to them. As much as we talk, we have to listen because that's how you get to know people.
I like that.
Yes, you listen, you get to know them, you understand the whole demographics, you understand who are the people that make up the community. They're vastly populated with youths,
Well,
the
we know
elderly
with the youths,
folks.
you're going to get a little
Definitely. So
energy.
you have to understand who make up the community, the nature of the crime that exists within that community. So as I said, it's not just sitting down in the station and you get a feel as to what happens. No. You get to go outside, you visit.
You know, we're talking that policing. And if you look back at what we used to do before and you look at what we're doing now, no wonder we are reaping those results.
Yes.
Because I often say to young officers, you cannot police inside of a police
I
station.
can't.
You must get to know your community, get to know the people,
Yes.
have an idea of what is taking place, how people are affected. So I'm very happy to hear you say that. So when we get that sense, we get that feeling now, so we know what's taking place in the communities. What is our next step in terms of the community policing?
So then with getting that information now, then you're better able to prepare yourself to maybe get programs or persons, maybe just to come and have a talk show or something. Once you have these information, then you know how to go about your planning.
All right, so we gather the information, and when we get the information, then we create the programs that we're going to deliver to the public.
Yes.
And I like that because it brings me back to the public consultation that we do within the division. And the officer in charge, he announced that he wants to do one every quarter where we would visit certain communities and we listen to the people. Not go and lecture to them, but listen to what they have to say. Let them tell you what is affecting them. Let them suggest solutions, and then we take it all on board, and then we create that strategy.
Yes.
And I like to hear you say that. What are some of the programs that we normally run out in the communities?
So, for example, we have our citizen advisory bodies.
That's a big one.
Yes, and these are the people from the community with the head of the station most of the time. They come in and they bring the concerns of the community to the police. So sometimes, yes, we go out, but these people, we have it on a regular basis in most stations. Then they bring the situations from the community, from the wider community to the station, to the officers.
Citizen advisory body is a big thing.
Yes.
It is a big thing, and I'm throwing it out there to members of the public because I learned that the one in Surtees is lackluster and it needs that reinvigoration and it needs some energy. So, to the persons that make up that committee, we are saying to you, let's work together. Let's get our act together. Because you would know, Miss Antoine, that there are some persons that don't feel comfortable to come to the police.
Police by themselves, definitely.
They may have a negative experience. And there are some communities, as we alluded to earlier, and where the anti-police sentiment is quite high. And so having the citizens advisory body where there are leaders within the community that they can speak to, that will bring that concern to the police, we sort of bridge that gap there between what we do as law enforcement and the community.
Yep.
So we really want to see citizen advisory bodies right throughout the division. And I'm talking Sutton, Union, Victoria. I ain't playing with it. Eh? You
Yes.
notice I ain't playing with it.
Yes.
Guelph, we want to see that type of energy.
That type of
So
energy.
citizens advisory bodies. What are some of the other?
So we also have police boys clubs, and that's most of the time in our primary schools. And this involve where you go to the schools, whatever school it is within your policing area. You get the consent of the parents because that is key, and we have that meeting every week based on how well it's up to you, I guess, as much as the person running it. And the school is involved, girls and boys. At first, we used to have a police boys
Boys
club,
Club.
but it's a police club, school club where everybody is involved.
You know,
Because
even when we had the boys and girls, there still used to be some girls that used to come on the side and craft in. So I like the fact that, the leadership of the executive of the Royal Grenada Police Force, kudos to Commissioner and the team and our divisional commanders and heads of station for opening up that initiative, not just for the boys, but also to include the girls as well.
yes,
What are some of the things that we address in the Police Boys Club
so we address discipline.
that is needed right
That
now?
is one of our biggest things that we address, because if we train our children right now, then we would have a better community 5, 10, 15 years from now.
Right.
We wouldn't necessarily have to always be calling the police for, oh, my child this or my child that or the other. So we train them now and we reap the rewards in the
I
future.
don't know if you ever had that experience, but Sergeant Dupre shared an experience with me. He said that he was in St. George's, so he walking up and he saw a young man on the street, pants almost on the knee. You know how they do their
Yes.
thing. He said when he reached close, the young man turned around and he watched him. Oh, pull up his pants. Make all his friends pull up their pants, and he say, "We can't disrespect that man. You see that man that coming there? That man teach me in Police Boys Club."
And that is what's gonna happen once you have that kind of relationship with the boys and girls of the school. Once you go there and they're willing to take that information that you dispose to them, then as I said, in the next 5, 10, 15 years, you would see different persons
But
in
when
our
you're in the
community.
community also, these are your students. Now
Yes.
they're grown up.
Yes.
Now, when you in the community to deal with an issue, you're not just an officer,
No.
you are the sir and the miss that spoke to them, that they
Yes.
interacted right throughout the educational experience, and that level of respect is maintained.
Maintain
And
definitely.
that is why the police is still the most powerful thing within our communities,
Yes.
because we focus on the building of relationship, getting to know the people that we serve, sitting with them, meeting with them, greeting with them, mingling with them,
Yes.
listening to their concerns, crafting it in the strategies that we develop to fight crime, to reduce the fear of crime, and to build strong partnerships.
Yes.
What are some of the other
So
programs that we run?
So whilst we on the boys club, so besides the discipline area, we also have fun time.
Yeah.
We have drills.
Yeah.
We have
The school, don't talk
sports.
about the trips too.
Yes, sports. We have trips that yes the children do enjoy, and I know of some schools that they raise funds and they even travel. So these all belongs to part of the police boys girls club. So
And
parents,
you know the schools have been clamoring.
yes,
And we
yes,
are seeing that
yes,
revitalization of the police, boys, and girls club. The divisional commander on this very set platform, he spoke of his willingness and he spoke of the fact that he's going to put his authority behind that initiative. And we are seeing a revitalization. So, parent, if you're sitting home now and you're hearing that program, you might be in Shantimel, maybe Montrich, maybe River Sally, Rose Hill, Samaritan, wherever you are being reached right now, make sure you get in contact with your teacher and say, The officers say they started back the police boys club. What about my child?
Definitely.
And no one is being left behind.
Definitely.
The
So it
girls
doesn't
are on board, boys are on
boys
board.
are on board. And you'll be surprised that the girls are more enthusiastic about this
Yeah,
than ever.
something about women when now they're coming to think I've it over. But it's nice.
Yes, it is. And as I said, we do have fun. So it's not just about disciplining, but we do have fun and enjoyment. And at that way, instead of being all lord over the child, then you get to realize that that child, the same child that might be giving trouble in the school or behaving themselves, might be able to do something else.
You know, there
Because
are
it
many
was
officers within the force that came to the police boys club.
boys club, definitely. My husband is one of them.
Look at that. So the first experience he had was being in that. And the discipline goes a long way. Life skills, it stays with you.
Yes. So parents, feel free to let your children join the club. You wouldn't be disappointed.
And we're going into your area next. School liaison.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a big one.
So a liaison officer is more or less the police that is responsible for bringing information back and forth. So I bring to the school, this I bring from the school. So if the school have an issue, like for example, I am the school liaison officer for the Montrose Primary and Secondary School and River Sally government. So recently, the principal of the primary school, I remember, she asking for a pedestrian crossing and school zone area by the school. So as a liaison officer, I take that information from her, from the school, bring it to my station to the officer in charge, and we see what we can do. So even if we have to maybe go to the ministry, go to whosoever it is to get those things done.
You know, it
Eventually,
speeds up the process by which we could get results.
yes, yes,
And then the schools have the opportunity to target the information. So you don't have to wonder who you're going to
who you
speak to, who
have
you're
to
going
go
to
to
call, and
definitely.
everything. Then.
So once you have that liaison officer, you pass that information through them and they get it to the higher ups.
And another opportunity for the police, to be familiarized with the community.
With the community.
And we ain't living that. Community
Yes.
is within.
Yeah, so as much as sometimes you may not be directly working in the community that you live, but giving that impact in this community where you work now, it makes your job somewhat easier. Because as I said, if you speak to persons out there and you have that understanding where they're coming from, then it makes life so much easier for the police and the community.
And I don't want to be selfish, but for the police, just being a police officer and getting that opportunity to speak to people, speak to children, you develop your ability to public speak.
Yes.
You develop that confidence and you develop your leadership.
Leadership skills.
So I show that one to the police officer who they home now and you're hearing that. Speak to your station head, speak to your commander. Let them know that you're interested. That's how you build yourself as a police officer and you show your uniqueness and your difference.
And the children, they're really loving. Honestly, because I know, for example, one of the guys in our station, he was in one school, but it so happened that he had to transfer to the next school. And the children in that particular school was cussing, "Oh, sir, why do you have to go? Sir, no, you can't do this." And it's like that because policing is transferable. So sometimes we have to move.
I
But
understand that.
we do it all the same because at the end of the day, the love for it is one, and then for the bigger picture to help the community that we serve and Grenada on a whole.
I like that. Yeah. And the police farm watch, because
Yes.
we operating in a farming community. And that is one of the things that we want robust farm watch. We don't want it in name.
I know.
I don't want no station to be saying that we have a police farm watch and you just have it in name.
Name.
Meetings.
Yes.
We want to see that register. We want to see that you having the frequent meetings. And It makes your job easier.
Yes.
I passing down by the Grove, by the market, and a farmer was complaining about some cattle that was coming onto his land. And a gentleman tell him, well, why you don't kill it? And that gave me the opportunity to have a short
It's a
discussion on
conversation.
stock trespass and to
Yes.
let him know that no, that is not the right thing. This is what the law states in
It
relation
can
to
do.
that. So when you have those farm meetings, be it the pretty Lassani officer or an officer from the regular police station, you have an opportunity to chat with the farmers and educate them. Share tips.
And then give them reassurance also that the police do care and they are concerned about whatever it is that they're doing. Because you could imagine that I'm a farmer at home. All my money that I make is through this business, this farming business, and yet for all these animals or thieves come in and heckle me, I would be reassured that the police, the farm watch personnel, they're outside there seeking my interest. So if I leave the farm 5 o'clock and I know that the farm watch probably might be around, even if it's not every day, but I feel comfortable leaving my farm and go home and sleep, being
Yeah.
assured that by the
We,
time I come back in the morning, everything is okay.
we got some real positive reviews in the division because during the Yuletide period, we had farm visit both day and
And night,
night.
yes.
And this is the action that farmers are asking for. They want to see greater police presence. And even the speed at which we respond to reports, these are the things that affect our farmers. So when we meet, we can have those type of conversation.
Yes.
Yeah,
So another thing that we do again as part of a community initiative, we meet with the business folks within our policing area. So on that visit, we talk to the persons in charge most of the time. We see how their business operating, and we give them little tips so as to keep their business safe.
yeah,
We have that nice conversation. Most of the time it's short, but we do, and they
yeah.
appreciate
we
because they
we
do share their
understand the
appreciation.
business that go from there, and even the little tips, the little text message, how to spot the counterfeit coins, training new staff, the angle of which you put your cameras. Don't just install cameras and then it doesn't capture the shopping area. You want to put it in the area where people are entering, so you get that exit and all those type of things there. And when we meet and we share those information, we had a drop in terms of business reporting crimes during the
I
Christmas
was just
period.
about to say that.
And that's what happened when we meet.
Yes.
Because when we discuss things, we problem solve.
Yes.
And as a police force, as a division, this is our mandate. This is community policing. This is what we do.
Yeah.
And I feel happy that you're bringing out some things. I find you're touching me this morning, man. What are some of the other things we do?
Yeah, so that's more or less some of the things that we do besides
You know,
the
we did talk the area official.
official. Yes.
You
So
realize that there are some where we are overlapping. And I am happy to have redundancy because timing, sometimes you doing the community patrol, you're there 12, 1 o'clock. But if you're back for a farmers meeting in the same community, you might get somebody you didn't get
yes,
earlier on.
yes, yes.
And so we want to spend as much time in the community as possible.
Yes.
Now, I know we talk all these things, and I just want to bring to focus, just in case the people say, well, police doing all that. What about their function? We still do our function, but policing is dynamic, it is broad. Now, doing all these things, because I say that it is important to know whether or not the service that you give to people is effective. Evaluation. When we have the public consultation meeting and we tell them come out, we want to hear whether or not we're reaching you.
Definitely.
With little surveys, with little questioning. They sometimes put up something in the station.
Hmm.
Ask them to read the service, customer service. Because when things are pointed to us, what we do right and what we do wrong, therein is an opportunity for we to improve,
Improve that.
because we must improve the service that we offer to members of the public. People cannot be coming to police station, and when they reach there, they feel as almost like this hostility. As a police officer, and I'm throwing that out there so members of the public know what the expectations are. Police have to be polite, civil, treat everyone with respect. We don't have one policy for the big shot and another one for the small man in the community. Everyone will be treated with respect.
Respect.
When you call the phone, police have a right to answer the phone properly. And if you are not getting that as a service, bring it to the attention of the officer in charge of that station so we could remedy it. We want to serve you well. Ms. Antoine, I've been given a big mandate to speak on an initiative of the Sotes Police Station, fitness. But you know, Carnival coming.
Yes.
People want to get in shape. And I hear I'll have something for them. So I know that the fitness group
Yes.
have recommends, I should say,
Yes,
because
recommends.
Sotes is one of the stations that always have
Right.
a fitness group. I don't know if all you get officers that are more fit more than everybody else. Because I know some of us, we really need to be in the thing for ourselves.
Yes.
But I like to see that though.
Not necessarily more fit, but with all the work that we're doing, we need to take care of ourselves.
All right.
So it makes sense to keep fit. And
Right.
while doing that, we bring in the persons on the outside. Another community initiative
Another
again.
Yes, man. We talking.
Yes.
We fit in. We becoming friends.
Yes.
So I see that the fitness club would be led by Constable Cornwall, and we have a young officer, the fit young man just come out in training school, chest hard like rock. That is Constable Sam Bernard. And it's from Monday to Thursday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. There is a registration fee, so you come to the police station, they'll let you know about that. It's very little money.
Very.
Little money. And so I think that they're still working on the uniform part. But
Yes.
for now, black and gray t-shirt. Right. And some of the things they say they're working on: strength, cardio, endurance. I think I need some of the endurance thing there, honestly. Yeah. And again, when police doing anything, there must be the fun part.
Yes.
So sometimes the fitness club do like a cruise, like a hash.
Yes.
How they just call it the thing when they do the people come take the buses and they go around, they call it road trips.
Yes. Bus trips.
Bus trips, man. So all that will be part of that initiative. And Sotes Police Station, I'm telling you. And I'm not just saying that because I'm interviewing you this morning and you're from the station, but from when we had that big community initiative
Planes.
in
Flash.
Plains past year, we had that incident flowing where a young man would have lost his life, and then the police came together and bring all the communities together.
Together.
And mind you, I must say that there are still folks who call me and say, "Officer, when are you coming back?"
They really wanted it, but sorry, guys, we didn't have one last year. But hopefully, by God's grace, this year we'll be back.
Yes, man, come back. It was a really, really nice time.
Yes.
Police, and you had the cricket, you had the football, you had the food, you had the music, you had the everything.
Yes.
And me and your husband share the mic.
Yes.
So I really, really had a really nice time up there. I had a nice time. And it's really good to connect with the community.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think our conversation this morning on community policing and what we do, how we do, and everything there. And yes, I'm throwing it out again to the public. Let us know if we can do anything to improve on how we serve you. So, Miss Antoine, we don't have much left, but we have a few minutes. So maybe some of the main points you may just want to rehash them, or if there is something new you want to add, and then we come to the close.
Well, all I really want to say is that persons, the police are there. We're all humans as well. So we do make mistake, we get it wrong. So if you do have an issue, feel free to share it with the police. If you're not comfortable sharing it with one particular police, as Corporal Lewis was alluding to, you can share it with the officer in charge of the particular station. So feel free. We're willing to take your advice, your information into hand and see how best we can serve the community that we're policing. And hopefully, as we go forward, we will have that better relationship where both the police and the community can feel safer and more comfortable in that whole space.
I like where you talk about if there is a concern, because sometimes people can have a bad encounter with the police. Now, while we're here on the program, we'll be very honest on that. Sometimes we do get it wrong. And on that note, the Community Relations Department and my inspector, Inspector John, good morning to you. And that is the officer in charge of the Community Relations Department. She also lives in St. Patrick's. I'm just saying. And we wanted to show that out there because what we noticed that there are lots of folks that have grievances with officers and they forget that they can make their complaint. So you can reach the Community Relations Sub Office at Guelph, and we operate from Monday to Friday. In the event that you visit the station and we are not there, someone is going to take your information and we're going to get back to you. Because sometimes it's kind of costly for them to leave St. Patrick and go, well, we have a thing we say we're going on the foot for them.
Yes.
But we saving you that foot money. You get to keep that money in your pocket because we have a sub office. Even our immigration.
Yes.
A lot of folks don't know that they can do the whole complete process to get a passport. So it's not necessary that you fight and get up in the early morning. You know what we country folks do? We think when we want to go some places
Yes.
early in the
Very
morning.
early.
So we're saving you that trip. So at Surtees Police Station, you get that. For our visitors and returning nationals and persons who want the temporary license, you can get it at the Guelph Police Station also. So these are some of the services that we have that we sometimes don't frequently highlight, but we do have those services within our unit, within the Western Division. And I still think that I have 3 minutes. I think I'm going to eat my 3 minutes very nicely because I like the conversation this morning.
Yes.
And I want to sell the job of the Community Relations Office this morning a little bit to end the program. We drive the community initiatives and we give opportunities to young officers. And Miss Antoine, every time I come to you, it always short notice, but I always get you to appear. And I just want to say thanks. Also to the officer in charge of the Surtees Police Station, Inspector Bidu. She is back.
Yes, please.
So I am announcing it. And I think Inspector Noel did an excellent job.
Excellent.
The talk is that Surtees Police Station had the best staff party. And everyone is talking about that event there. Lots of community members, everything. And it just shows everything we do as police officers in Grenada involves the community. So to the police station in the neighboring islands, you wanted to know what the trick was. Community policing. And it's driven from our executive, come right down. Every officer is a community police. Every officer comes from a community. Every officer is given some type of an assignment to connect to the community, whether through a school, whether as an area official, he's taking part in a fitness group. So we involve ourselves in everything that takes place within the community. And through the creation of that relationship, we get our results.
Yeah.
Thanks for having you, Ms. Antoine, again to the listening public. Thanks for tuning in. And remember that We will be same place, same time. And I used to tell the people 9 to 10. We changed from 10 to 11. Behind the badge, Corporal Lewis. Nice program this morning. So whatever you do it in God's glory, do it in His name, and I hope that you have an enjoyable day today. Thank you.
I'm sure you'll be blessed by the Almighty. The Almighty.
In an industry where customers expect quality, M&N Hardware Limited is a leader in locally manufactured aluminum windows, doors, roofing, and guttering. Our manufacturing division is efficient, flexible, and will always go the extra mile to surpass customer expectations. If you need security, sash, casement, or projected windows, we're able to do it. Our security and heavy-duty doors are state-of-the-art